The opportunity to amass wealth and limited wealth is the cornerstone of the capitalistic system. A system of free enterprise, an open competition that has produced the greatest society the world has ever known. The problem is, you really believe that? No, I don't. But I've mouthed it here on behalf of those who do believe it. Those who do believe it are terribly deluded and see nothing of the current reality on your planet. In the United States, the top 1.5% hold more wealth than the bottom 90%. The net worth of the richest 834,000 people is nearly $1 trillion, greater than the poorest 84 million people combined. So, they've worked for it. You Americans tend to see class status as a function of individual effort. Some have made good, so you assume that anybody can. That view is simplistic and naive. It assumes that everyone has equal opportunity, when in fact, the rich and powerful strive and contrive to hold on to their money and their power and to increase it. So, what's wrong with that? They do so by systematically eliminating competition, by institutionally minimizing true opportunity, and by collectively controlling the flow and the growth of wealth. This they accomplish through all manner of devices, from unfair labor practices which exploit the masses of the world's poor, to good old boy network competitive practices which all but destroy a newcomer's chances of entering the inner circle. They then seek to control public policy and governmental programs around the world, to further ensure that the masses of people remain regulated, controlled, and subservient. I don't believe that the rich do this, not the largest number of them. There may be a handful of conspirators, I suppose. In most cases, it isn't rich individuals who do it. It's the social systems and institutions they represent. Those systems and institutions were created by the rich and powerful, and it is the rich and powerful who continue to support them. By standing behind such social systems and institutions, individuals can wash their hands of any personal responsibility for the conditions which oppress the masses, while favoring the rich and powerful. For example, let's go back to healthcare in America. Millions of America's poor have no access to preventive medical care. One cannot point to any individual doctor and say, "This is your doing." It is your fault that millions cannot get in to see a doctor unless they're in dire straits in an emergency room. No individual doctor is to blame for that, yet all doctors benefit. The entire medical profession and every allied industry enjoys unprecedented profits from a delivery system, which has institutionalized discrimination against the working poor and the unemployed. And that's just one example of how the system keeps the rich rich and the poor poor. The point is that it is the rich and powerful who support such social structures and staunchly resist any real effort to change them. They stand against any political or economic approach which seeks to provide true opportunity and genuine dignity to all people. Most of the rich and powerful, taken individually, are certainly nice enough people, with as much compassion and sympathy as anyone. But mention a concept as threatening as yearly income limits, and they start whining about usurpation of individual rights. They talk about the erosion of the American way and lost incentives. Yet what about the right of all people to live in minimally decent with enough food to keep from starving? What about the right of people everywhere to have adequate health? The right not to have to suffer or die. The resources of your planet belong to all the world's people, not just those who are rich and powerful enough to do the exploiting. And here is how the exploitation works. Your rich industrialists go into a country where there is no work at all. The rich set up a factory there, offering those poor people jobs at substandard, if not to say subhuman wages. Not enough to allow those workers to escape their rat-infested villages, but just enough to let them live that way. And when they are called on it, these capitalists say, "Hey, they've got it better than before, don't they? We've improved their lot. The people are taking the jobs, aren't they? Why? We've brought them opportunity." Yet how much risk is there in paying people 75 cents an hour to manufacture sneakers which sell for $125 a pair? Is this risk-taking or exploitation, pure and simple? Such a system of rank obscenity could exist only in a world motivated by greed, where profit margin is the first consideration. Those who say those peasants are doing wonderfully are hypocrites. They would throw a drowning man a rope, but refuse to pull. Then they would brag that a rope is better than a rock. Rather than raising people to dignity, these haves give the have-nots just enough to make them dependent. For people of true economic power have the ability to impact, and not merely be subject to, the system. And that's the last thing the creators of the system want. So the conspiracy continues, and for most of the rich and powerful it is not a conspiracy of action, but of silence. So go your way and, by all means, say nothing about the obscenity of this socioeconomic system. A system which rewards an executive with a $70 million bonus for increasing sales of a soft drink, while 70 million people can't afford the luxury of drinking the stuff, much less eating enough to stay healthy. Don't see the obscenity of it. Call this the world's free market economy, and tell everyone how proud you are of it. Yet it is written, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell what thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. But when the young man heard this, he went away, sorrowful, for he had great possessions.